Hey everybody, this is Doug Zanes. Welcome to my weekly show. For those of you who have listened to my show before, or I guess, and really what I'm trying to say is for those of you who have not listened to my show before, tell you a little bit about me. Again, my name is Doug Zanes. I'm a personal injury lawyer, and I have, quite frankly, one of the biggest personal injury law firms in Arizona. We have two offices in Tucson, Arizona, and a couple offices in Phoenix, Arizona. And we simply represent lots and lots of people every year who have been injured in some sort of accident. Lots of people have been injured in car accidents, but also people who have, slipped and fallen, or been injured in, assaults, fights, different things that unfortunately happen. And I like to do the show each week, to talk about different topics. Lots of times they're legal topics or legal issues that I think, everybody who listens to my show may have interest in or learn something from. But sometimes it's non-legal things. But today I actually want to talk about tow yards and kind of how tow yards come into play when you've been involved in a car accident. Just so if you're listening to this, you can be a little more informed on that particular topic. What happens is, I think in a lot of normal everyday car accidents, your vehicle will be drivable. So you'll be able to drive your vehicle home, and assuming it's safe to continue to drive your vehicle away from the accident scene, that's the best way to go about it. Exchange information with the person you've been involved in the accident with. Make sure you get their complete name, their phone number, their address, not a P.O. box, but a physical address. You generally want to take a photo of their driver's license with your smartphone, so you have all the information that's on their license. If you don't have a smartphone with you, it's a good idea to ask to see their driver's license and write down all that information: their name, their driver's license number, their address, their date of birth, any identifying information. You want to make sure that the person pictured in the ID or the driver's license is a person that you've been involved in the accident with. You also want to get all of their insurance information, their auto insurance information. The easiest way to do that, quite honestly, is to simply ask them for their insurance card. They can get another one. They can, download it online. That's how I get mine, for my cars. But if they don't want to actually give you their card, then, make sure they give their card to you. And again, it's a great idea to take a picture of both sides of the card with your smartphone. If you're not able to do that, write down all the information. You need to know who the insurance company is. You need the policy number. You need to write down the person's name that's on it. You need to write down the 800 number off the card that you need to call, or that you would call to make your claim. So if you're in an accident, you want to get all of that information. You also want to take pictures of the cars. If you've got a camera, a way to take pictures of the cars, the damage to the cars, not just yours, but to all cars involved, how they're positioned after the accident, all of those things. And you also, if possible, want to have the police come out and prepare a report. Oh, and you also want to get all the witness information. If there are any witnesses to the accident, you want to make sure you get their names, you get their phone numbers, you get their addresses, so you can find them later. Because if you don't, then you'll never be able to track them down again. And so immediately after the accident, get all of that information, and if your vehicle is safe to drive and drivable, then everybody can leave, and you can drive your vehicle home and don't have to worry about a tow yard. But if your vehicle needs to be towed, then the first question becomes, well, where are you going to have it towed to? One option is you could have it towed to your house, and put it in your driveway, put it in front of your house. Again, depending on where you live, when people live in gated communities with homeowners associations, you can't leave a vehicle that's undrivable, that's severely damaged, parked in front of your house for very long. I mean, a day or so before the homeowners association typically will start to get on you. But if that's not an issue, you can have the vehicle towed to your house, you can park it at your house, you can get your insurance claims open with all the insurance companies involved, have an adjuster come out, and look at the damage to your vehicle, and they can make arrangements along with you to have your vehicle towed from your house to either the body shop or dealership that you're going to have the vehicle fixed at, if it's fixable, or if the vehicle isn't fixable and it's totaled, then you can work with the insurance company, get your vehicle totaled out. They'll give you a check, you sign a bunch of paperwork, and they'll have your vehicle towed away, and it becomes their vehicle. So that's certainly a great option because you don't have to deal with a tow yard. And the reason I say that is because tow yards can be very difficult to deal with. And really what tends to happen is when the police call a tow company out to tow your car. And for example, let's say you've been taken in an ambulance to the hospital, so you're not there to give instructions about where you want your car taken. The tow company will just tow it to their yard, their storage yard. And the tow company won't want to release your vehicle until somebody's paid them for the tow, number one, and for any storage costs that they have. And the way the storage costs work is by the day. Every day they charge a certain amount of money to just have your vehicle sitting there for the day. And it can be relatively expensive. And so that's one of the challenges is, of having your vehicle towed to a tow yard is then 3 or 4 or 5 days later when you're trying to take care of the vehicle, you're trying to get your personal belongings out of the vehicle, you run into this issue where the tow yard actually, one, doesn't want to give you access to your vehicle to get your personal belongings until you've paid the cost of towing the vehicle there and the storage fees to date. So that can be an issue. It's not always an issue, but it can be. And then certainly if you want to remove your vehicle at that point, to have it towed to a dealership, to a body shop, to your house or anywhere else, you're not going to be able to do that until you pay those storage fees and for that tow. And I can tell you for a lot of our clients, that's a difficult thing for them to pay for. I mean, it's not horribly expensive, but when you start to talk about $300 or $400, we have lots of clients, quite honestly, who can't afford to pay $300 or $400 to the tow yard. And the catch is, as your vehicle sits in the tow yard and the at-fault driver's insurance company, so the person who hit you, who ran into your car, who has damaged your vehicle, as they investigate the claim before they're willing to accept liability and deal with your vehicle, as they investigate the claim, your vehicle is sitting in the tow yard. And under the law, technically, you have a duty to do what's called mitigate your damages, which means kind of lessen them to the greatest degree possible. And so then what happens is the insurance company takes their time. They take 2 weeks investigating the accident. They finally say, okay, we'll accept liability. It was our insured's fault. And then you'll start to try to deal with the car, and they'll start to give you a hard time and say, well, we, the insurance company, don't want to pay the $800 in storage fees. You had a duty to mitigate it. You should have gotten your vehicle out of the tow yard a week ago, and it becomes this big battle over who's going to pay those storage costs and who's required to pay those storage costs. Meanwhile, the tow yard is just sitting back waiting, and after a certain amount of time of your vehicle actually being there, they'll go file paperwork with the MVD to get an abandoned title to your vehicle. And if they do that, you don't challenge it, suddenly they own the vehicle. And they go and salvage the vehicle and make some money off of it. And you don't want to end up there. So, if at all possible, while the at-fault driver's insurance company is investigating the claim, if you have full coverage on your auto policy, you need to pick up the phone and make a claim with your insurance company for the property damage. Have them send out an adjuster to look at the vehicle, to do an appraisal of the damage to the vehicle. If it's totaled, they can total it out and pay you for it. If it's fixable, they can take care of getting it towed out of the tow yard to the dealership to get it fixed much more quickly. And that's the best way to go. And the hesitation I see, quite honestly, with clients, or I don't see it, I mean, they just flat out say it, is they don't believe that their insurance company should have to incur those expenses, should have to pay to fix your vehicle because the accident wasn't your fault. And my response to that is this. That is why you have insurance. That is why you pay your premium every month for your auto insurance, is so if you're in an accident, even if it's not your fault, you can pick up the phone, make your claim, and they need to take care of this stuff for you. If they pay to fix your vehicle, and it wasn't your fault, and they pay to have it towed out of the tow yard, and they pay the storage fees, they will get reimbursed for that, meaning your insurance company will get reimbursed for that from the at-fault driver's insurance company. So don't worry about your insurance company. They're big boys. They're a big, sophisticated insurance company, and they do this all day, every day. You don't need to protect them as their insured. They're actually there to protect you and to help you. And that's a very important point, because I talk to lots of clients who, when they initially call their insurance company to open up a claim and let them know that they've been in an accident, their own insurance company takes the information and essentially responds to them by saying, okay, you don't need to do anything with us, your insurance company, because the accident wasn't your fault. You need to make your claim with the other driver's insurance company. So that's what you need to do next. And they kind of brush you off. And if that happens, your response needs to be, no. You need to take care of this for me. You're my insurance company. I have collision coverage. I have uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. I have medical payments coverage, whatever it is you're making a claim under. And you need to take care of this for me as my insurance company. Now, the final issue that comes up with that is your deductible. Whether you have a $250 deductible, $500 deductible, $1,000 deductible. It's this issue of having to pay your deductible if you're not able to, if you can't afford to. So if your insurance company fixes your vehicle before you pick it up, you most likely will have to pay that deductible. And so if the at-fault driver's insurance company is still, quote-unquote, investigating, that can be difficult. Now over the years we've been able to help lots of clients find the solution to that. One great solution to it is, if the accident's not your fault and you have a good insurance company, a lot of times we can get them to waive the deductible, because realistically they're just going to collect it from the at-fault driver's insurance company, and they're going to get it there. So that's the first thing we try to do, is get them to waive the deductible. And we're pretty successful with that. There are some body shops that will wait to be paid on the deductible until later, because the reality of it is I don't believe that a body shop can hold your vehicle hostage until you pay that deductible. I think I'm of the mindset that really, push comes to shove, they've got to give you your vehicle and wait on getting paid the $500, especially if you have an attorney representing you and helping you. Your attorney should be able to talk to the dealership, the body shop, and make those arrangements. Now, I'm personally a big fan of car dealerships when it comes to fixing vehicles that have been damaged in accidents, because there seems to be more accountability there than you sometimes see with kind of privately owned small body shops. But having said that, if your vehicle's been damaged in an accident, I mean, you've got the right to get it fixed wherever you want, at a body shop of your choice. But I'm more of a fan of car dealerships. But that's the basic ins and outs of tow yards and the problems we see people running into, and different options that you have. Certainly, if you have any questions, if you listen to this and you've got any questions, you can email me at Zanes, Z-A-N-E-S, at zaneslaw.com. And until next week, you all have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.